So today I want to talk about the importance of how you share your work with others. And this video is inspired by a conversation that I had with a client of mine in which they told me how it really sort of transformed their career when they learned the skill of explaining their work and talking about their work in a way that is understandable to others. And I want to first start by explaining what the problem is, and what I see from my working experience is that there are many brilliant STEM professionals, engineers, developers, scientists, data scientists, who are so great at their work. Yet, when they have to share that great work with the general public, they are not recognized. Why? A very common thing is because our work as STEM professionals is oftentimes quite complex. It's very complex to understand what is it that we are even doing if you are not the expert in that specific field. And we sometimes talk in a way that is not even inviting to people who are outside our field. So it's really hard to sort of grasp the importance and the significance, the relevance of our work if we do not make a very conscious effort to explain our work in a way that is not only understandable to others, but also in a way others can feel and see the impact and the significance of what we are doing. And what I see many times is this typical mistake of explaining your work as if you were talking to your peers. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with talking in a way you would talk to your peers if you're talking to your peers. However, nowadays the industries are very interdisciplinary, so we have to work with many different experts from many different fields, and some of them are completely outside our field, some of them are a little bit closer, but in general, they really don't know what we're talking about unless we make this conscious effort of explaining our work to them in a way that's understandable and easy for them, right? Because otherwise, what do? You shut down and you're like, okay, I don't want to listen to this person anymore. And why is this a problem? Well, it's a problem because if people do not see the importance of your work, they are not going to give you opportunities. Why? Simply because they don't understand you. They don't understand what you're talking about. They don't understand what your work consists of. So you are somehow constantly being overlooked despite the fact that you're doing brilliant work. And one of the very tangible examples of that, and something that I believe most of us experienced, are those professors at university that you know are brilliant in their work. They have dozens and dozens of published papers, if not thousands. They are the go-to expert, right, for this super niche thing that they're doing. But when it comes to explaining their work, for example, when they are teaching, they just cannot do that. You are standing there listening to them, asking yourself, what is this person even talking about? So this is something that we all experienced, but it is very common that when we are trying to progress in our careers, the same thing happens. Because we are specifically as STEM professionals, we are not trained in a way to make sure that our work is understandable to the general public. And whether we like it or not, the people we are working with are very often the general public. They don't know anything about our equations, our models, our experiments, our data, our coding, or whatever it is that we are doing. So it is our job to make sure they understand us. If we want something from them, money, a promotion, recognition in some way, funding, usually for some projects. If we want that from them, we have to make sure that they understand us, and we have to meet them where they're at. We cannot expect them to know what are some super technical details, and we cannot expect them to know actually anything about our topic. So it is our job to learn that skill and learn how to make sure that they are interested and they get interested in this specific niche thing that we are doing. How can we do that? through training. The only way to get better at something is to train and train and train and try again and fail and try again and so on. And this is exactly what I offer in my coaching program. So I work with STEM professionals like developers, scientists, data scientists, engineers who feel that the way they're explaining their work and the way they are relating their work to what matters to others isn't good enough. So they maybe struggle with communication skills, or specifically they just don't want to give presentations. They don't know how to even start a presentation. They don't know how to even start explaining their work. They get stuck every time they have to explain something at their team meetings, or maybe they just take forever, right, to write a proposal, write an email, write a summary, and it sort of is a source of stress for them. So if you feel that you recognize yourself in these descriptions, I want to invite you to a completely free discovery call, which I will leave a link down below for, where you can, as I said, schedule a free discovery call with me, where we can talk about these specific struggles that you are facing in your STEM career, and how they relate specifically to communication. So what can we do together and achieve together in order to make sure that you don't feel stressed every time you have to talk about your work, and also to make sure that others actually understand the importance of what you're doing, because I am really sure that your work is brilliant, you are a great expert, but probably the reason why you're not getting promoted or the reason why you're getting overlooked is probably because people don't see why you are the key piece there at the company, in that team, and so on. So I'm here to help you with that if you struggle with this. And yeah, hope to see you on the discovery call so we can chat more and discuss more about your current struggles that you're facing. I hope that you found this video useful, and see you at next time in another video. Bye bye.